Hello friends, welcome back. In this video, we will be discussing some more para summary questions that are generally asked for CAT and other management entrance examinations. So as usual, I'm giving you the option to attempt the exercise on your own first by clicking on the link provided in the video description. First you do that and then come back and watch the video. That will be more helpful in understanding the various techniques and the learning points that you can use in arriving at the answers for these kind of exercises, which are definitely advanced exercises. The questions are no doubt complex, slightly complex. So you need to develop the ability to understand what is stated in the passage and then eliminate the options that are incorrect, and then filter out the probable correct answers and then arrive at the exact answer. That will be the best summary. So this is the technique you should be following, or the method you should be doing for all the para summary and other reading comprehension related questions. So we'll first go to the first question. So this seems a slightly complex question. The only thing is that once you understand the question, then the options become very easy. You can easily find out the answer without too much of an issue. So what is the... I'm sorry, I am having slight cough, so might be interrupted with some coughing. So please try to bear with me. So this question is basically talking about the author's work on some scientific data regarding the differences between men and women. So what the author is basically saying, if you read the first sentence, you can understand. So I have used the work of many scientists whose research has revealed the distorting effects of entrenched assumptions about sex differences. So there are some effects that distort the results because of some assumptions regarding sex differences. Sex differences means differences between men and women. So the author has focused his research, and he has also concentrated on the work done by scientists whose research is talking about the distortions caused by the assumptions regarding sex differences, or your prejudices, or whatever notions you have regarding the differences between men and women. These notions or prejudices in your mind will distort the outcomes of certain scientific studies. So this is the meaning. So your assumptions or your prejudices regarding the differences between men and women will influence your understanding about the differences between men and women, or your scientific theories might be influenced by your prejudices regarding the differences between men and women. This is what the passage is saying. And this, some of this research means the research that the author has focused on, and this research is informed by a feminist awareness of science's embedded cultural biases and stereotypes. So further explanation is given to this. So the research that the author is focusing on, and many scientists have also focused on, which is stated about in the first sentence, that research is informed by, means that research is influenced by, and that research is developed by a feminist awareness of science's embedded cultural biases. Means when you have certain biases in science which are developed with the result of feminist awareness. So when you think about the science and the scientific theories from a feminist viewpoint, and that is actually leading to cultural biases and stereotypes. So this is the meaning. So that is, science should be, the author says that science should be viewed purely as science. There should not be any feminist point of view or any masculinist point of view. When you talk about scientific theories, you should be free of any prejudices. You should not let your prejudices or your assumptions influence the scientific theory. So there should not be any feminist awareness regarding the biases or stereotypes. This is the basic meaning. And because he is focusing on or criticizing these kind of biases, what is happening? His work is coming with an occupational hazard. What is the occupational hazard? So hazard means a problem or an issue that is related to your occupation, that is occupational hazard. So basically the author is focusing on the biases or prejudices regarding the scientific principles that people have, because of which the scientific principles are getting distorted. That is what the passage says. And because he is focusing on these biases, what is happening? He is being accused of politically motivated. So he is being accused that he is a sex difference denier. So this is the meaning. So the meaning is that when the author is focusing on these kind of biases and prejudices, how they are distorting the scientific theories, then he is branded as a person who denies that there are differences between men and women. So that is why he is branded as a sex difference denier. And according to psychologists and neuroscientists whose positions he has criticized, so he might have criticized many psychologists and neuroscientists, and because of this criticism, he is being branded as a person who politics before science, confuse equality with similarity, and wish to abolish femininity entirely. So he is being denied, or he is being branded as a person who is against feminism, and he is also being branded as a person who puts politics before science and confuse equality with similarity. So once you understand this, you can be very clear that the author is a person who questions the biases and assumptions that distort the scientific principles. And because of these biases and assumptions, which are influenced by a feminist point of view, so a lot of people have some distorted views regarding the differences between men and women. So author is against such kind of biases and prejudices. Author says that scientific facts should be viewed only as scientific facts. You should not be influenced by any kind of biases and prejudices. Because of his position, he is being branded as a person who denies that there are differences between men and women. And this ungrounded ad feminism. So this unsupported theory or criticism. Ungrounded means unsupported. Ad feminism commentary means something that is looking at feminism from a biased point of view. So this ungrounded ad feminism commentary means this unsupported criticism against him has even extended to suggestions that my use of the acronym. So when he uses the acronym T for testosterone, that also is because he is a sex difference denier. That is the meaning. So this kind of unsupported criticism against him has even extended to his use of the acronym T for testosterone when discussing its effects on the brain, and people are saying that he is conflicted about how to incorporate experimental evidence into my worldview. Means the people are saying that this person or the author is not able to even incorporate experimental evidence. That is why he is using a T for testosterone instead of directly saying that testosterone is a male hormone that is influencing male behavior. So this kind of ungrounded criticism is being leveled against him. And they are also saying that here the author's work is a misguided reaction to experiences at dinner parties. What is this experience at dinner parties? So when some person is, when some male are behaving badly or not behaving properly in dinner parties, and the chauvinists or the people who have predominantly male point of view, they say that this is because of the caveman effect of men, or men have not evolved from their caveman psychology. So as a result of which they are behaving badly in parties. And I get the author is having this kind of reaction to this kind of experiences. So because of which author is denying that there are differences between men and women. This is the meaning. So basically the passage, the author says that I have very strong positions regarding a feminist viewpoint or biased viewpoints regarding the differences between men and women, which actually distort the scientific theory. So I should not have, I should not think that any kind of biases or prejudices have any place in understanding the differences between men and women. But most of the people have these kind of biases or prejudices. They have a predominantly feminist point of view regarding the differences between men and women, as a result of which their understanding of the scientific theories are distorted. I do not agree with it. Because I am not agreeing with it, I am branded as a sex difference denier, and I am told that all my theories are politically motivated. So these are the things that are stated in the passage. Now going to the summary. Once you understand the passage, the summary becomes very easy. The author dismisses the idea of feminist awareness. True. The author is saying that feminist awareness or feminist, here it says that how science has some research is some of the research is informed by a feminist awareness of how science has embedded cultural biases. So here the author is dismissing that idea of feminist awareness. True, but by denying the similarities in both the sexes. Here it is wrong because he is saying that he is being accused of a person who denies the differences between sexes. So here it is denying the similarities. So he is being accused as a person who says that there are no differences between men and women. So that is why he is called a sex difference denier. So here the author is dismissing the idea by denying the similarities in both the sexes is wrong, as a result of which you don't have to worry about it. So this is why you look for any inconsistencies. Once you find an inconsistency, that becomes the point or the trigger for you to eliminate that option. Option B, the author discusses the political ideology behind sex differences. Is the author discussing the political ideology behind sex differences? No, the author says that sex differences might be there, but you should not have any prejudices or preconceived notions regarding the sex differences that will influence your scientific outlook. So that is what the author is saying. So the denying or discussing the political ideology behind sex differences is not true. The author is basically talking about the prejudices or assumptions regarding sex differences. So political ideology is not stated here. And comments on the support science and psychology provide to it. The science and psychology is not providing support to the political ideology. Science and psychology is providing support to the prejudices or assumptions regarding sex differences that are existing in the scientific study. That is why this option is also not correct. Option C, the author comments upon the common views formulated by the people. The author is not at all talking about the common views formulated by the people. The only informal gathering he's talking about is the last part that is not at all relevant here. So author is commenting upon the common views formulated by the people during informal gatherings, and the ad feminine commentary that persists is wrong. Ad feminine commentary is what people accuse the author of doing. Not that the people have formed or the people are forming ad feminine commentary. The people are saying that the author is doing ad feminine commentary. So that is why this option again is wrong. Option D, the author is discussing his work on gender difference while mentioning the criticism he has faced from some quarters. Yes. So many people are saying that he is denying that there are differences between sexes, which is wrong. Whereas the author says that there might be differences between sexes, but you should not approach this theory with any preconceived notions or any prejudices. When you have prejudices, your scientific outlook will be distorted or not be correct. That is what the author says. The option D is the best answer to the question. So once you understand the passage, the passage becomes easy. If you do not understand the passage, this is a very, very difficult question. But the entire key is to understand what is stated in the passage through very focused and precise reading and connecting the dots. Once you do that, you are able to easily isolate the answer. Option D will be the answer. Okay, go to the second question. So second question is a comparatively easy question. It is talking about how our memories work, or what are the things we would like to recollect, and what are the things that we generally recollect, which gives us or fills us with a sense of nostalgia, and what it tells about our character or about our personality, or the kind of memories that we cherish that gives us a lot of feedback regarding the type of person that we are. So when whether our memories are stretching back to 80 years or just 10 years, the episodes that resurface serve as sort of a Rorschach test. What is a Rorschach test? We don't know. But the subsequent phrase will tell us what will be a Rorschach test, revealing what we value and the kind of experiences we cherish. So a Rorschach test might also be doing the same thing, revealing what we value and the kinds of experiences we cherish. So whether you are having a memory of the past 80 years or you are having memory of only the 10 last years, the kind of memories that we come back frequently to your mind tells a lot about the kind of person you are and the kind of experiences we cherish. So if you like to recall Chuck E. Cheese birthday parties means grand birthday parties with a lot of people in attendance, they are called Chuck E. Cheese birthday parties. Then you are likely to prize the security of a big gregarious community. So if you are a person who values the a very big community around you, or values the security or comfort provided by a lot of friends and family members that surround you, then you will definitely be recalling these kind of birthday parties that you have had. Whereas if you are a person who is having a desire for deeper and more sustained bonds, you will be recollecting memories of making chalk drawings with your best friend. So depending on the kind of memories that you recollect, tells about your character. So if you're a person who always try to reminisce or think about the grand birthday parties you celebrated with a lot of people, then you are a person who values a lot of the comfort and warmth of a lot of people around you, the loving community around you. Whereas if you are a person who recollects some very intense moments or private moments where you are drawing with chalk with your best friend, then you are a person who loves some deeper connections with certain specific individuals. So that is why experience is not just what happens to us. They are the raw material we use in shaping our identity in ourselves. So experiences, or whatever experiences we value, these are the things that shape our identity or ourselves. Nostalgia, because of which nostalgia is a means of reclaiming that raw material or that particular material that is shaping our identity. So nostalgia is nothing but the process by which we reclaim the raw material that make us what we are. Just like we are digging our hands into clay. When we sink our hands into clay, what is happening? You are making a deeper connection with that particular clay. So like that, when you think about past experiences which we cherish, you are actually trying to get very intimate with the kind of principles or ideals that make you the person you are. This is the meaning. So once you understand that, the answer becomes very simple. Looking back at memories helps an individual to relive past moments and overwhelms them with a sense of nostalgia. True, this is a good answer, but it is not talking about the main point. The main point is the kind of memories we cherish is actually defining the kind of person that we are. That is the meaning. So this option is not wrong. So, but it is not talking about the main thing. So, not a very good answer, but keep it in your mind. Option B, a lot can be learned from the memories of a human being to the extent of defining what a person likes and his or her personality. Yes, a lot can be learned from the memories of a human. Memories means something that normally comes back to us frequently is called a memory. So only the favorite memories come back to us frequently. So means it is telling us the kind of person what we are and about your personality. So this is a good answer. It is a better answer than option A because it talks about the main point in the passage. Probable answer. Option C. Nostalgia is like sinking our hands into clay and experiencing the connection with every particle therein. So nostalgia is like sinking our hands into clay and experiencing the connection. Nostalgia, what connection? What is the connection? The connection is about the values that define we are. So that is not stated here. This again is like option A. It is talking about a supplementary point. It is not talking about the main point. So option A and option C are also not incorrect answers. They are correct, but since they are not talking about the main point, they are not better answers than option B. Option B is still the better answer. Option D, the childhood life of an individual helps define the kind of person he becomes. Here we are not talking about memories or the nostalgia. We are only talking about the childhood life. So the passage is not talking about how the childhood life is defining the person he becomes. The passage focus is on how the memories we cherish is helping us define the kind of person we are. So that is why D is not a correct answer. So out of A, B, C, B is the best answer. A and C are talking about the supplementary points. So these are not the main points. So they will not be the good summaries or the better summaries. The better summary will always be option B. So option B is the answer. Now the third question. Third question is comparatively easy. So this is talking about how citizens perceive of their actions and what is the significance of their individual actions and how these are in terms of the what the state or a country is doing. So it says that individuals, the country's actions or the whatever things that are happening in a country, it is all a combination or a collection of all the individual actions done by the people of that country. So the people will think that since their actions are very much insignificant from the point of view of a country, they do not have any moral responsibility for what the country is doing. So that is what people would like to believe. People think that their actions are not their actions are too insignificant or too less or too unimportant for for them to have any moral responsibility for the actions of the nations. Whereas Shastri is saying that this is a mistake. So that what he says that a mighty river is made up of individual drop, just like a mighty river is made up of individual drops, and each drop is contributing to the creation of the river. This country is also like the same. Means each and every citizen of the country is contributing to the creation of the country. So the action of each and every citizen is important, as well as each and every citizen is morally responsible for what the country is doing. So that is why, as a moral being, every citizen had a duty to ask how personally contributed to maintenance of the state and whether he was happy about it. So every person is morally responsible for all the actions of the country, and because he is part of the country. Citizens were responsible for their actions, and their responsibility is no way diminished by what others did or failed to do. So citizens cannot say that I am too insignificant. I am only a citizen in a country, and my actions are not significant in resulting in the actions of the country. That defense is not at all possible. Citizens are responsible for their actions, and their responsibility is not at all diminished by what others are doing. So citizens are responsible not only for their actions, citizens are also responsible for the actions of the others. So that is how the country's actions are created. So the country's actions are created by the actions of the citizens. So citizens cannot escape the responsibility of their actions by saying that they are insignificant. So this is the meaning. Now go to the options. Option A, citizens do not understand their responsibility. No, the passage does not say that citizens do not understand their responsibility and act irrationally. Passage is again not saying that the citizens are acting irresponsibly. Citizens are saying that their actions are not at all going to be very significant when you think from the perspective of the country's action. So that is what the passage says, and citizens are neither acting irresponsibly or not acting irrationally. So this was declared. So once you have a problem here, then you don't have to go to the remaining part. This was decried by Shastri. Decried means criticized. Because Shastri was not criticizing this. So that is why this option is wrong. Option B, citizens do not usually regard their actions as significant in the context of running of the state. True. That is what citizens think. Citizens think that their actions are not very important when you think about the entire act of running the country. So that is why, so that they think that they are not morally responsible. Shastri disagreed and instead felt that the individual acts did contribute to the running of the state, and then citizens should be aware of this, and that should be responsible for their actions. So good answer. It is talking about all the main points in the passage. So keep it in your mind. Option C, people of the state regard their actions as insignificant. Yes, people think that their actions are insignificant considering the vastness and complexity of the state. So true. So Shastri was vehemently opposed to this idea and held that though individual actions are insignificant. So Shastri did not say that individual actions are insignificant. So Shastri vehemently opposed this idea, true. But Shastri held that individual actions are insignificant is wrong. Shastri held that individual actions are also significant. So, and citizens must understand that they contributed something to the maintenance of the state. So this part is wrong. As a result of it, this option will be wrong. Option D, citizens are very well aware that even though what they contribute towards the maintenance of the state is not significant. So here the passage says that citizens are aware that their contribution towards the maintenance of the state is not significant. This is wrong. The passage says that whatever citizens are doing, they are significant, but citizens think that it is insignificant. So here the option says citizens are very well aware, means citizens are aware means it is true. Or it is a true fact that their contribution towards the maintenance of the state is not significant, which is wrong. It is the mistaken impression of the citizens that their contributions towards the maintenance of the state is not significant. So this part is wrong. The state cannot be run without their participation. So whether the state can be run or cannot be run without their participation, that is not truly stated here. The passage says that the state actions of the state is comprised by the actions of the individual. So that is why this also will be wrong. Shastri says the citizens benefit from the state's existence. That also is wrong. Shastri is not talking about the benefit that the citizens are receiving from the state. It is talking about how citizens are responsible for the actions of the state. So that is why this option contains a lot of errors, so not your answer. So very clearly option B is the answer that talks about the entire gist of the paragraph. So option B will be your answer. Okay, question number 4. What is detan? The entire meaning depends on the meaning of the word detan. Detan means the process of reconciliation between two previously inimical persons or countries or societies. It is known as detan, or the process of becoming friends again. Two enemies, whether they are individuals or societies or groups or countries. So two people or two groups which were previously enemies, when they try to make up with each other, then they try to patch up their differences and then gradually become friends. That process is known as detan, or the process of reconciliation is known as detan. So detan cannot be taken forward by waiving conditionalities and ultimatums in the face of the other. So it says that detans or the process of reconciliation cannot be taken forward when you create some certain threats or ultimatums against the other person. It has to be done in a friendly manner and in a productive and progressive approach by taking all the contentious issues or controversial issues and first tackle the less difficult of the controversial issues, then gradually engage with the other person. Ex-antagonist means the ex-enemy. So when you try to make up or patch up differences, then the antagonist is no longer an antagonist. He is not an enemy anymore. That is why he is described as an ex-antagonist. So first we tackle the issues which can be easily solved. Then we also try to engage them with the complex issues, and at the same time try to build confidences by letting relations develop in areas of trade, investment, economic cooperation, cultural relations, sport, etc., and above all in people-to-people relations. So in all the areas, gradual reconciliation is the process by which you patch up differences with a former enemy. So first tackle the issues that can be easily solved, then we think about the other complex issues, and also develop the people-to-people relations and confidence building measures. And this is how the detan should be taken forward. And the closing of the gap on the issue of the gas pipeline seems propitious means favorable or welcome. So here he's talking about an example of this theory. The closing of the gap on the issue of the gas pipeline is a welcome signal. The unprecedented grant of Pakistani visas to 18-year journalists to visit important center is a fine gesture. So again, he's talking about two examples of this particular process of detan. So now you have to see the options and think which is the best answer. Detan cannot be carried forward by striking antagonistic postures, but by adopting conciliatory measures to solve outstanding issues. Good. Improvement should be made on various fronts and more tractable issues. Tractable issues means issues that can be handled very easily. That is, tractable issues, they should be tackled to develop confidence. Certain steps that were taken in the past serve as models on how to go about it. So this seems like a good answer. It is talking about how detan should be done, and certain steps that were taken in the past serve as model. So we are talking about two steps or two things. One is the gas pipeline issue, and the other is the Pakistani visas to Israeli journalists. So these are examples given on how this can be achieved or detan can be achieved. So this is a good answer. Option B, easing tensions do not come about by proposing conditions and ultimatums, but by adopting a give and take policy. Good. Though the more complicated issues must be solved immediately. This is wrong. It says that the less complicated issues should be solved immediately. Tackle the less difficult problems and get them out of the way. Means you first tackle the easy issues and then focus on the more complicated issues. So here it says that the more complicated issues must be solved immediately. Wrong. So this is why you don't have to bother about this option further. Option A, detan does not come by introducing conditionalities, but by solving the issues at hand. The less contentious issues can be solved immediately. Improvement in other fields such as trade, etc., contribute to detan significantly. However, this should not be at the cost of people-to-people relations, which is the cornerstone. So what is the meaning? It says that all these kind of measures should be done, but they should not be done at the cost of people-to-people relation. They should be keeping in view the people-to-people relations. But what the passage is saying, all types of developments or all types of confidence building measures should be pursued, but most important should be given to people-to-people relations. Whereas this option is saying that this should not be at the cost of people-to-people relation, means that this should not be by compromising people-to-people relations. That's not what the passage is saying. Passage says that all the areas on cooperation should be pursued, but maximum focus should be given on people-to-people relation. Whereas option says that all areas should be pursued, but they should not be at the cost of people-to-people relations. Means you should not sacrifice people-to-people relations for the sake of a cooperation in other fields. So this is not what the passage is saying. So not your answer. Option D, deterrent between warring nations improves by solving contentious issues and improving bilateral ties in all areas of operation. Solving the gas pipeline issue and the issue visas for Israeli journalists are steps in the right direction. So this also is a good answer. It is talking exactly about what the passage is saying. So now you have to decide which is the better answer. So here you have to do some close reading regarding the examples. So the options are differing only in the case of examples, because option A says that these steps taken in the past are examples of how detan can be carried forward. Or first you talk about the process of detan and then you talk about an example. Whereas option D says that this is how detan should be done. And since this is how detan should be done, this recent steps are in the right direction. So here it is talking about something that has done that has happened very recently, whereas this option says that these two examples are of the past and they are serving as models on how we should go about it. And so which is the better answer? See, the closing of the gap on the issue of the gas pipeline seems propitious, means seems welcome. So when do you use the word seems welcome? When something has happened very recently and it is appearing to be a good signal. So that is why this is something that has happened very recently and it is a good signal in the area of detan. An unprecedented grant of Pakistani visas to 18 journalists to visit important centers is a fine gesture. Is a fine gesture. Again, the verb is a fine gesture. Means this is a action that is good. So that is also says that this gesture should help to improve the atmosphere. Means in the future, this will be helping to improve the atmosphere. So this again is talking about a recent action done by Pakistan, which is going to help improve the atmosphere between Israel and Pakistan. So a likely example of how detan should be done. So this is why these are steps in the right direction is the best answer, because these are things that have happened recently. By reading closely, you can understand that these are two recent examples of how detan should be done. So when you talk about then you can say that detan should be done like this. And these two issues those two steps are steps in the right direction, because this is the way detan should be carried forward. So D will be the better answer than option A, whereas option A says that these two things that happened in the past are examples of how detan should be carried forward, whereas this option says that these two things which have happened recently are examples of are steps in the right direction, because this is how data should be done. So that is why D is a better answer than option A. So if you will be able to find the correct answer in this particular question only if you read closely. Otherwise, you will get misdirected and opt for option A as the answer. Is not the answer. D is the correct answer. So this, even though the passage seems very simple, the options make it confusing. So you need to have close reading abilities to understand it. All right. So the last question, the question is not very difficult. It is talking about the problems that doctors are facing. They have their medical ethics, which says that the best treatment should be provided to all the patients, irrespective of the doctor's opinion about the patient. So the doctor might not be having a very good opinion about the patient. Sometimes the doctor may feel that this patient does not deserve good treatment, or he whatever his condition is because of his own making, or he only is responsible for this, or the doctor is not liking his character, or he might be a criminal. But as far as the Hippocratic oath is concerned, so Hippocratic oath is the oath that the doctors are taking once they graduate. So this oath says that the best possible treatment should be given to all the patients, irrespective of the doctor's opinion about the patient. So this is the ethics. And but in a contemporary market economy, what is happening? The medicines and surgery, they are becoming very costly. So doctors are being reminded by those responsible for managing healthcare, means their bosses, or the hospital bosses, or the people who are looking at the cost effectiveness of providing healthcare. So they know that this kind of surgery and medicine, they are very expensive. So as a result of which, funds are not unlimited. The limited funds are available, as a result of which best treatment cannot be available to all. So here the passage is talking about how these people who are managing the healthcare nowadays in the post or the modern market economy, they are continuously reminding the doctors that healthcare is expensive, so funds are not unlimited. So we have only limited budget, as a result of which the best treatment cannot be provided to all the people. So the passage is basically talking about the problems the doctors are facing. On the one hand, they have their medical ethics, which says that the best treatment should be provided to all the patients. On the other hand, you have this post or the modern market economic based healthcare, where everything is costly and the funds are limited, as a result of which the best treatment cannot be given to all the patients. So this is the issue. Now we have to find a summary. Option A, according to medical ethics, the doctor must extend the best treatment to a patient, whether he likes or dislikes him, even if he's a vicious criminal whose illness is because of self-inflicted injury. But due to expensive medicine and surgery, the best treatment is not available to us. All right. So here, what is the first problem here? Yeah, seems good, but read that this thing, even if he's a vicious criminal whose illness is because of self-inflicted injury. What the passage is saying, even if the patient is not liked by the doctor and the doctor considers him reckless, means reckless or irresponsible, or ill because of self-inflicted disease or injury, or a confirmed and even vicious criminal. So whether the patient is a vicious criminal, or patient has inflicted the injury on his own, or whether he is irresponsible, in all the cases, the doctor has a duty to provide the best treatment. This option, read it closely, what it says, that even if he is a vicious criminal whose illness is because of self-inflicted injury. So here it is that the vicious criminal has inflicted injury on himself, as a result of which he is having this problem. This is wrong, because the passage says that whether he is a vicious criminal, or whether his illness is because of self-inflicted injury. So here the key word is or. So whether he is a vicious criminal, or whether his illness is because of self-inflicted injury, he should be given best treatment. Whereas this option says that he is a vicious criminal who has inflicted injury on himself, as a result of which he becomes ill. So that is why this option is wrong. So this option need not be considered. And due to expensive medicine and injury surgery, best treatment is not available to us. That is okay, but this part is wrong. So as a result of it, this option is wrong. Option B, according to medical ethics, a doctor must give the best treatment to his patient, even if it's a notorious criminal, whether he's due to self or in jail. This is true. This is only talking about the first part. It is not talking about the second part, about the market economy, expenses, the funds being limited, and treatment not able to be provided to all the people. So this is why this is not a good summary, because it is talking only about the first point, not about the second point. Option C, medical ethics demand that a doctor extend the best treatment to a patient, irrespective whether he likes the patient or not. But unfortunately, best treatment is extended only to those who are wealthy. So whether the best treatment is given to those who are wealthy or not, is it stated in the passage? Not clearly stated. It says that the healthcare managers are continuously reminding the doctors that funds are limited and best possible treatment cannot be given to all the people. So whether it is given to those who are very wealthy or not, that is not stated in the passage. We can infer that it might have be given to only those who are wealthy, but that is not given in the passage. So this option needs an inference from you. We have discussed what is the difference between an inference and a fact. So as long as when we are talking about para summaries, we should stick to the facts. We should try to avoid inferences as far as possible. So this option is partially correct because inference is involved here. We will keep it as a likely answer. If any other better answers are there, then we will go for it. Otherwise, this can be your answer. Option D, doctors are repeatedly being reminded to strike a balance between market economy-driven expensive healthcare and the ethics of their profession, which command the provision for best possible treatment. Yes, this is a good statement because healthcare managers are reminding doctors continuously. What they are reminding? That funds are limited, you cannot give best treatment to all the people, whereas the ethics is that best treatment should be given. So doctors, what they have to do? They have to strike a balance between market economy driven expensive healthcare, even though it is not directly stated that the reminder is given about striking a balance. When a reminder is given about the funds being limited, what it means? You need to strike a balance. So that is why the doctors are being repeatedly reminded to strike a balance between market economy driven expensive healthcare and the ethics of their profession, which command the best provision possible treatment. So the reminder is regarding the expensive healthcare and the funds being very limited. So with that reminder means that doctors cannot treat all the people according to their ethics. Then best possible treatment cannot be given to all the people. So means there should be a balance between the funds as well as the ethics. So this is why this is a better answer than option C, because option C calls for a inference in the form of a treatment is given only to those who are wealthy. This is not supported by the passage. Passage is not saying that the best treatment is given only to those who are wealthy. Passage only says that the funds are limited, as a result of which some people will be given best treatment, some people may not be getting best treatment. Whether the wealthy people are being given treatment or not, we cannot make any such inferences based on what is stated in the passage. So this is why this is not correct, whereas option D is very clearly supported by the passage. When a remainder is given, it means to strike a balance between the funds as well as the provision of best treatment. So that is why D will be the better answer, not C. So this again is the passage might look very easy, but the option makes it difficult. So this is why careful analysis is required. That is why this question was included in the exercise. I hope this video was helpful to you in understanding certain important theories or concepts you need to think about while trying to understand and answer para summary questions. Please like, share, and subscribe if you have liked the content, so that it will motivate me to come out with further videos on this kind of topics. Thank you. Bye-bye.